and then the service leader will introduce a couple of songs. And before we sing, we sometimes try to remind people what we're doing. So we're not just singing vertically to God, we're singing horizontally to one another. Again, this is something that I've only become aware of in the last 10 years of my Christian life. Is I think I always assumed that, well, first of all, I thought corporate worship was musical worship, but musical worship is a subset of that. But even just thinking about musical worship, I think I solely thought of it as a kind of vertical encounter between the congregation and God, and even worse, between just me and God. As if there are hundreds of individual quiet times going on in the same room. But according to Ephesians chapter 4, Colossians chapter 3, we are to address one another with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. So we're not just singing to God, we're singing to one another. And I'm not throwing shade on churches who dim the lights necessarily. Again, I think there are sincere motivations, but we don't turn the lights down during worship because we want to be able to see and encourage one another, because the Bible commands us to do that.
It's not a theater. It's not a concert. It's a gathering. It's an assembly of the people of the Lord, and we need one another. We don't just need the people on the platform in front of us. And think of that when the New Testament says singing to one another, it's basing that on the Psalms. Think of even the Psalm 95, come let us worship and bow down. The psalmist is speaking to brothers and sisters in the Lord. Sometimes I come to public worship and I am dead inside. And my brothers and sisters encourage me to come before the Lord. And so there is that horizontal thing that you want happening in the whole of the public worship service, but certainly in the singing of public worship. So you want an environment that doesn't say, I'm sitting in a dark theater watching something that's happening in front of me or consuming something that is being done for me, but I am actually a participant. This hit me.
This is huge, yeah.
When I my mom was a choir director, and so I had no choice but to sing in the choir from the time I was a little kid. And I love that. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But when I got to Scotland and I'm worshiping with psalm singing, non-instrumental Presbyterians, it hits me, okay, if any worship is going to happen today, I'm going to have to do it because nobody is going to be doing it for me. And that's a good lesson for all of us, whether we're psalm singers and non-instrumental worshipers or not, whether they're instruments helping us sing, whether there's a choir or a worship team helping us sing. We've got to be in the mindset, I'm here to give to the Lord the glory due his name.
If the electricity went out, would you be able to keep singing as a congregation?
And so you want to have that attitude, and having the lights up is one way that you can subtly send the message. We're in this together.
Yeah, we understand some of our listeners, friends might disagree with us on this particular application, but here's the important principle. The most important instrument in a church service is the voice of the gathered congregation.
Exactly right.
So I say to prospective members of our church, when you join the church, you join the worship team.
Yeah.
When you join the church, you join the choir.
Yeah.
The people on stage, as it were, are there to accompany and enhance, not to perform.
Yeah.
We are the ones lifting our voices.
And it's the voice of the people of God that you want to be able to hear. So whether it's a modest group of instrumentalists or a Rufati organ or whatever else, I want to hear the people of God singing. That's the voice that I want to hear. That's the voice I need to hear. And so everything needs to be done in the congregational singing in order to emphasize that instrument.
Yeah.